As you can tell, I don't just review Games Master magazines. SFX, Sci-Fi Excellent. There was a letter one time that wrote into this magazine, and it says, if you replace the F with an E, that's when it becomes complicated. But let's not go there, kids. Spring of 2001, £3.50, Great British Pounds. Yes, well over 20 years old. Angelina Jolie is Lara Croft. The reason why I'm reviewing this is because this was the first magazine that I wrote into where I kind of got a letter published. I'm not even going to tell you what it was about because it was a bit crap, to be honest. Oh, yes. Black Star Video. Whoops. Any video, any DVD, anytime. This, boys and girls, was well before Netflix. The memories of all this. Such a long time ago. Not into Japanese anime type comic books, so I'll pass on that. More of a sci-fi, spaceship sci-fi, if that makes any sense. You know what? The reading and the grammar and everything else regarding these types of magazines was spot on. Well, I should say that I read this when I was probably about 15. Yes, I would be 15 at the time. Magic the Gathering. Funny enough, I actually used to go to a video shop that was a cyber cafe, and it was closed down a few years ago. Now it's just basically like a you can play board games and that sort of thing. Speaking to one of the guys outside one time, and that's what they played, Magic. Never got into it. I did get into Yu-Gi-Oh, but that was a long time ago. $17.99 for a DVD, folks. Yes, for one DVD. Interesting fact, the majority of PlayStation 2 owners was actually using them for DVDs. Although at the time, I didn't see the point because they didn't port Command & Conquer Generals over to it. Anyway, enough about that. Mailbag for SFX. So yeah, absolutely spot on and lovely. And there is me. And there it is. Come on. Oh. Come on. Is it red? Can you read it? Hang on, let me just see if I can just poke the camera up a little bit. Oh. Is it there? SFX magazine. Yeah, there I am. Edward Stevens, Newcastle. So regarding me being a teenager and asking if there was an episode of Jerry Ryan in a bikini for Star Trek Voyager. Anyway, enough story about that. The old Nokias, never had that version actually. Didn't see the point because the one I had pretty much lasted me. Liked this sci-fi SFX magazine. Although I must admit I did used to miss my Games Master at the same time. This was even out and published before the Lord of the Rings. The original Lord of the Rings was actually out, I think in 2001. Yes, some nice screenshots of Gandalf and Bobo Baggins. But yeah, Star Wars Episode 2 Roundup. I would probably say that this was probably well before all the issues in the world, but let's not go there because this isn't a channel for politics. This is a channel for everyday. Ah, yes. Star Trek Voyager Roundup. I think it was roughly season 7. It was previewing. I know later on in the magazine there's a couple of episodes from season 6. Personally, I liked Voyager quite a lot, but unfortunately it went shit after season 5. That's my opinion. Please don't scold me in the comments section. Blockbuster I wonder where you went. Hang on. You went and bust. Like the rest of yous. Again, you know, you can't make this up. This magazine showed how teenagers and how people used to interact many years ago. Cassettes, DVDs, now it's just streaming and Snapchat. I definitely had that issue. With a nice photo of Terry Farrell, who played Jadzia Dax in the original, in Deep Space Nine, and Jerry Ryan. Let's not say anything more about that. I know I had that one because I actually got myself. I wrote into that one. That was the episode. That was the first magazine I should say I got published. I got published in two SFX magazines and one Games Master magazine. But yeah, pretty much Buffy the Vampire Slayer eccentric reader news reporters. It was okay, Buffy. I'm not the biggest fan on it. I'd watch it if it was on. I used to watch it every Thursday afternoon. I should know this because it was just after Roswell High. I don't know what happened to that. Although I did watch it a few years later. Voyager the Reunion, the event of a lifetime. Where's that Blackpool? Oh, I could have gone there and had a chat to Ethan Phillips of Star Trek Voyager, Neelix. Oh well, such is life. Again, the Sci-Fi magazine, you've got cassettes and DVDs. Ooh, isn't that a shiny, nice big Sony DVD player? Tomb Raider versus Final Fantasy. Right, I'm not going to say this, but I generally did enjoy Final Fantasy, the film. Never played the games, although I did hear 7 is such a lovely game. I go to a friend's house and we're actually watching Tomb Raider at the time. This is dead weird because I'm putting these magazines out at random, reading and reviewing them. But the only thing is some of the stuff I'm actually watching them. But yes, Final Fantasy the film, I liked it. I enjoyed it. Whether or not that's just me. Tomb Raider. I don't think this was actually out at the time of this magazine being published. It was probably out, but only. So yeah, Tomb Raider had a big section into it. Double Jeopardy. Oh. How can Jolie? Oh, here we go then. Jolie's Lara Croft body double hate Tomb Raider. Tom Mayo talks to the exquisite Rachel Grant to find out. She actually looks probably better than Angelina Jolie, but let's not go there. But yeah, nice little screenshots of various games. Tron, for all you boys and girls. That's a nice film. Never been into Resident Evil, to be honest, which is quite weird because I was around when the original Resident Evil was out. I played sort of the first level. It's just one of them games where I just didn't click with it. MGS, on the other hand, oh yes. Yes, I played it well. I don't know. I mean, you know, this shows its age, but could this be put in a museum one day for prosperity? Who knows? You're not getting your hands on this copy. Buffy the Vampire Slayer spin-off, Angel. Never watched it. Well, I say I never watched it. Basically, at the time, it was coming on Channel 4 at something like stupid o'clock in the morning, which is a bit weird because you're not going to be up at 3:30 in the morning. I mean, WTF. That's why we used to record, although the signal where I was living wasn't that good. But yeah, I used to enjoy a lot of reading. I've got like a Star Trek Deep Space Nine companion that I'm going to have to root out one of the days. And that, I read it from cover to cover. Like I said, I like Star Trek. Spike. I like the actor who played Spike, although I can't remember what he's called. James Marsden, of course. There was a big debate one time because he did an interview with this magazine, and instead of calling arse, he called it ass. And like the people was actually writing and saying, I completely forgot what I was saying before I was interrupted. Anyway, yes, the X-Files, Requiem. This was still on VHS. Probably mumbling on about Buffy or something. Yes, it also gave insights to actually having your sci-fi novel published and released. Although I have got an idea for something like that, but I doubt very much I'm going to actually go ahead with it. How to research a book in a foreign country. I know, use Google Translate. It wasn't even invented when this was out. Anything like this, where it gives you an insight of how other people work, is always fascinating for me. I love YouTube documentaries where they tell you how, like, for example, working on a cruise ship and that sort of thing. Well, yeah. SFX, Invisible Man, Out of Sight. This is the Richard Bacon one, and I am not a big fan of it, to be honest. Titan AE. Woolworths. Well worth it. Funny enough, I bought my first digital camera from Woolworths back in the day. I think it was like 2006. I came home and I had a bath and I left it in the kitchen on one of the kitchen table, the kitchen chair, and I heard basically a crack and the screen broke. That was the build quality back then. The Western Couch Potato, the best Star Trek saying going. Red Sky at Night. This episode is shite. Ian, remember that quite well. It's what people used to do. They used to have a couple of bottles of wine and take the piss out of sci-fi. Although I didn't really have many friends to talk to it about. Never been into Farscape. I have watched it, but I just can't seem to click to it. Probably because it's me and I'm used to Star Trek. Spoiler zone. You actually had to physically like rip this open in order to open it. So yeah. Buffy was in there. I think it was season 5 or 6 when Dawn came along. I know when Buffy's mother died. Angel, like I said, I think it was probably from season 2 onwards. And like I said, I'm not a big fan of Angel. X-Files. I never got into X-Files. I was always a Dark Skies kind of man. I don't know. It just seemed a bit too stuffy for me. Voyager. I liked how they give one star to Shattered, even though Shattered is probably one of them weird episodes where you go, oh, she's in it and she's in it and he's in it and she's in it. The guest people came back. But yeah, he wasn't a big fan of Star Trek Voyager. But yeah, the fact of the matter is that this was a magazine that, again, I was in, probably 15 at the time. Roswell season 2. Bit of a weird question, bit of a weird one. The BBC here in the UK actually allowed season 1 of Roswell to go ahead, but season 2, I think they stopped where they was going to go back to their home world and Max Lee's and Isabella, or I don't know, I can't remember, it's been that long ago. But yes, I managed to track down season 2 eventually and watch it. It's here, the official PlayStation 2 magazine. So yeah, let's going back. Not much else really. DVDs and videos. Judgment Day. I think it was a DVD. Yes, it was. Price $24.99. It's shocking how much money the DVDs were. Although I can't say I've been watching many DVDs lately because I haven't even got a DVD player. I watch everything on my laptop now. Yes, Star Trek Voyager 7.1. Yeah, season 7. I hate season 7. They completely ruined it. They could have done like a full arc of Voyager getting back home. Instead, it was like done over like two episodes. GoldenEye. How well I remember it. And Tomorrow Never Dies. So yeah, quite an interesting time. Various books, sci-fi books. I did read a Star Trek book one time. Quite enjoyed it, actually. I do say so myself. Can't remember which one it was. But yeah, little N60, I think it's N64 computer game. Yes, it was. Format N64, Battle of Naboo. Graphics were shit, as they would be, on a Nintendo 64. Phantasy Star Online, my goodness. That's certainly going back in the day. Do you know who that is? It's Simon Pegg for Mission Impossible and any other half-decent film out there. He was in a thing called Spaced. So yeah, again, the collectors would probably go mental for something like this. These were the old advertisements for... Have you anybody been in Forbidden Planet? It's basically shops like that. Like I said, I've never really been into the pop culture situation. Although, some of it I would have liked to have seen. The next video I'm doing, I've actually got the 2000 catalogue of S&P Movie Market. You can't get these no more because everything was done online. But there's something I want to show you. Signed by Jerry Ryan, Newburgh City. Absolutely amazing. That certainly puts things into perspective, how things could have happened. Sales on the Uncanny, wanted for sale. I wonder if it's worth writing to these people to see if they actually just live here. Bearing in mind that this magazine's like 20 years old. I'm not going to do it, I swear. But yeah, little bit of nostalgic value there for a spring of 2001 magazine. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed me waffling on. I do apologise for the interruption earlier on, but I don't think it matters. I'm not very good at editing yet, so could have put an annotation in saying, warning, this is going to have a jump cut. Issue 77 and a photo of Star Trek Voyager, which is ironic because this magazine absolutely hated that show, in my opinion. Much love. See you soon. Bye-bye.